So another day, another just weird situation, with Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever and people around the organization. We obviously have seen the Scott Agnes article here, where he basically said that Caitlin Clark, all the night, basically that Caitlin Clark brings a dark side to the Fever, and her fans are like a negative on the team, and it's a struggle dealing with her fans. I'm like,
are the Indiana Fever actually thinking about trading Caitlin Clark? That's the buzz online, and it's getting more surreal than a mascot doing TikTok dances at halftime. Did she score too much? Smile too big? Sell too many jerseys? Something smells off, and it's not the locker room laundry. Let's unpack the madness, connect the dots, and explore what could be the most ridiculous front office blunder in recent memory. Buckle up. This story's hotter than a Caitlin Clark Logo 3.
Another good win by the Indiana Fever today versus the Seattle Storm. But I got a big concern with Caitlin Clark, man. So looks like the Fever have been figuring things out, man. So let's just say Clark comes back toward the end of the season. Fever do their thing in the playoff. Let's just say, for the sake of my argument, the Fever win the championship, man. With Caitlin Clark having missed pretty much most of the regular season, would this championship not hold that much weight? Because I can already see the haters saying she missed most of the regular.
If Caitlin Clark helps a team win a championship, even after missing part of the season, haters will still say it doesn't count. But let's be clear. If the Fever trade her, they might as well hand out "we give up" signs with every ticket. Think Indiana traffic is bad? Wait till you see the fans stampede chasing whichever team lands number 22. She's not just the most marketable player in women's sports. She's a player. And you're going to trade her? For what? Some old towels and a future pick? Please.
he literally said, and he was like, there are some people that are not here for basketball, not here for the Fever, but are only here for Caitlin Clark. It's like, if you're a fan of a player and you're here for the basketball and you're there watching games and everything, you're a fan of a player playing basketball. I don't see there's an issue with that. And according to his thing, to him, he was talking about how it was such a struggle for the team, and obviously someone who has access to the team. And he mentioned the the fans coming on saying fire.
If Clark gets traded, Gamebridge Fieldhouse won't just get quiet. It'll echo. Right now, she is a show. She's not just packing out arenas. She's packing entire cities. The merch tables? Empty. Concessions? Sold out. Your grandma? Probably wearing a number 22 jersey. And now you want to throw that all away like a bad stat sheet? That's not a rebuild. That's sabotage.
The reason why I was a little disappointed in Sophie's take is that, she's right. It's just that she did say, and I thought this was a better explanation, she was saying that when she played in Phoenix, that she was in the locker room, and so many of the players in the locker room were saying things like, oh, we're going to show Caitlin Clark what the W is really about, and would sort of go after her. And in some ways you can understand that because she was a rookie in the league. But ultimately, when you see all this vitriol of people who cannot stand her, it's like, okay, well, what has she done wrong? Yeah. She's a great basketball player. So
the math ain't matting. You don't trade the player who took your franchise from footnote to front page. Before Clark, nobody outside Indiana could even point out the Fever logo. Now, they're the Beyoncé of the WNBA. Prime time, trending. And no, that's not a coaching miracle. That's the Caitlin effect.
She is a badass and a trash talker and gives it as good as she gets it. And she is an object of scorn for good reason. She's awesome. She's swaggery. She does turn your home crowd into a road crowd. She is a frustrating player to guard, all of it. And if she is, for some of these teams, a bit of a villain, that's sweet. It only will make her better. She is already one of the 3 or 4 best players in the sport, as a lot of us thought she would be in short order.
If the Fever go through with this trade, they're not just giving up a player. They're giving up relevance. Clark is more than an athlete. She's a media machine. Cameras follow her like she's a Marvel superhero. Her highlights hit SportsCenter, YouTube, TikTok, all before you finish breakfast. Trade her in that spotlight? Gone. Meanwhile, whichever team gets her, Instantly America's team. Doesn't matter if it's a cornfield town with a rusty scoreboard. Put number 22 on a jersey, and suddenly they've got more fans in the NFL. Fever without Caitlin? That's like Disneyland without Mickey Mouse.
Indiana Fever posted this about Caitlin Clark to give like the official what is going on with Caitlin's injury. So they said Caitlin Clark underwent further medical evaluations earlier this week, which confirmed that no additional injuries or damage was discovered. Clark will continue working with the medical team on her recovery and rehabilitation with the priority on her long-term health and well-being. There is no timetable available for her return. But I do think it's interesting that ESPN has listed August 12th as a possible return date for Caitlin Clark. But the internet noticed something specific that Holly Rowe had to say on the broadcast. Holly Rowe said that before the last return after a quad injury, she had no...
This isn't your average fan base. This is a movement. They don't just watch, they travel, they post, they crash league pass servers. And you think they'll stick around if she's traded? Absolutely not. They'll follow her like Swifties chasing concert dates. Think a gritty rebuild will keep the energy alive? Good luck. Unless you're cloning Clark. With better threes, sharper sass, and perfect lighting. You're just setting yourself up for financial disaster. Trading her? That's like Apple firing Tim Cook and replacing him with a Roomba.
You know, she didn't play most of the games to get them to the playoffs, all of that. She won a championship and she was hurt most of the season, and the team was out there winning games without her. I can already see people saying that, man. So I'm just curious, man, because I'm thinking like, damn, you know, Clark has missed a lot of this time. You know, you play the regular season and get to the playoffs. Clark has missed, you know, most of the season so far. So if she won a title this year, having been injured most of this season, and then her first championship would be her being hurt most of the time, how would that championship rank for y'all? Would it not hold that much weight? Would it just be, you know, a win is a win, whatever?
And don't start with that. Maybe it's best for both sides. Nonsense. Best for who? The PR intern rewriting tweets at midnight because no one's buying tickets? This isn't addition by subtraction. It's subtraction by delusion. Trading Clark would be a self-inflicted disaster. Unless you've invented a player who can replace her game, her fame, and her aura, there's no trade package worth the wreckage that follows.
To be clear about this, if Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She is the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially.
Bottom line, you don't trade the sun and expect the planets to keep orbiting like normal. Trade Caitlin Clark, and the whole league feels it. The Fever seem to think people are tuning in for the team. Sorry to break it to you, but the fan base isn't here for Indiana's mid-range jumpers. They're here for the Clark show. Take her out of the story and you're left with silence. Literally, attendance drops. Ratings plummet. Social media ghosts. It's not a team people are following. It's a cinematic universe, and Clark is the main character.
Fair that she's the face of the league. And that's understandable because there have been fantastic players in the WNBA for a long time. But Caitlin didn't disparage them. She just came in and kind of changed the game with her style. So I think it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, maybe I don't think it's fair based on the previous women who have been in this league, but it's not Caitlin's fault. All she's done is elevate the game for all of us. And I think instead of being pissed off about that, you should be appreciative of that and say, maybe it's not fair, but it's not your fault.
This isn't casual fandom. It's ride or die. Burn the boats, storm the court loyalty. People aren't here for the team. They're here because Caitlin Clark makes basketball look like art. She scores like it's nothing, talks trash like a pro, and strolls off like a legend. You think those fans will stick around for missed layups and moral victories? Please, you could give her a team of scarecrows, and she'd still sell out the arena. One player, one movement, one superstar rewriting the game.
One thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. Don't get it twisted. Don't get fucked up. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. But for her individually, I don't think she should get involved on nothing that's being said. Just go have fun, enjoy, but I'm rooting for Caitlin because I've been in that seat before. I've walked that road before. I hope she kills. I hope Aaliyah Boston does amazing.
Now imagine trying to convince fans to stay loyal after trading the very reason they started watching. That's like kicking Taylor Swift off her own tour and wondering why nobody showed up for the opener. Clark is the headline, the draw, the reason. Fans know her stats better than their own birthdays. They've got her gear, her mixtapes, her highlight reels memorized. Trade her, and the only buzz you'll get is a literal mosquito in section 112. The moment she's gone, so is the attention and the money.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness, she and the Indiana Fever accounted for 45% of all the broadcast value of the WNBA last season. She accounted also for helping drive the numbers of merchandising up 500%. Of course, her jersey was #1. And most importantly, I think people look at this and think she said no. That's not the case. She said she wants her first competition to be an Indy at WNBA All-Star.
Here's the tragic part. The Fever don't seem to realize they're holding the key to a sports revolution. If they mess this up, they won't just lose games. They'll lose their identity. Clark could walk into a 3-win team and turn them into a dynasty. Instantly, fans would follow her to the ends of the earth, and their wallets would too. Meanwhile, Indiana would be left wondering how they managed to turn a golden ticket into fool's gold. Spoiler alert, pick and rolls won't save you from that kind of loss.